Hi, it's April, and what I'm going to talk about this week is how to make an outline, because you'll need to be making one for your essay. So organizing an outline is a lot like organizing your clothing, because the way you organize your clothing in your drawers, at least I do anyway, you organize it by category. Sweaters, shirts, pants, and shoes. And the categories are all on the same level, and what I mean by that is that they're all kinds of clothing. Sweaters are clothing, shirts are clothing, pants are clothing, and shoes are clothing, so they each represent a category. And then, of course, you want to subdivide each category into subgroups, meaning you want to break it up based on what kinds of sweaters you have, for example. So, you'll see shirts, t-shirts, button-down shirts, miscellaneous shirts. Sweaters, we have hooded sweaters, thick sweaters, thin sweaters, pants, jeans and dress pants, shoes, sandals, athletic shoes, and boots. You'll notice you've got broad categories and specific categories. So, an outline, as it is defined, the goal of an outline is to organize information. And two things that you should remember is your outline needs to make sense, and the outline needs to be easy to understand. One, if you're making it for somebody else, but two, if you're making it so that you can consult it later, like say you're outlining notes, you'd want to be able to go back and look at it again. So there are two types of outlines, and each one is used for a very specific reason. The formal outline uses Roman numerals, numbers, letters, and these are used to organize the points. Formal outline uses, it's very useful when you're getting ready to write your essays. So here are two examples of formal outlines. On the left-hand side, you'll notice that it uses Roman numerals. And each Roman numeral is for a specific category. This outline uses numbers and decimals. You'll notice the 1 is for the category topic, and the subcategories are 1.1, 1.2, 1.3. And you'll notice that 2 is colonial America, the broad topic, and the specific topics are 2.1, 2.2, 2.3, and so on. Informal outline. This is a great thing to use for your notes. You know, when you're taking Cornell notes, your Cornell notes should follow an informal outline. So they're good for using when a teacher is lecturing and you want to take down the points from that lecture. It's great for textbook notes, and it's also great for PowerPoint notes. For example, you should be using an informal outline as you're taking these PowerPoint notes. Here's an example of an informal outline. You'll notice that it has a title, American History, Early Period, and then it's divided into broad categories. We have early period, colonies, the Revolution, and creating a government. And then those categories are further divided. First people, Native Americans in America, Europeans' arrival. And you'll notice that the subcategories pertain to the broad categories. And you'll notice that it's just bullet points and dashes. No numbers, no letters. So why outline? Well, it helps create logical reasoning, and it helps you understand how ideas connect, how the ideas within your own papers connect, and how the ideas within the notes that you take, the chapters you read, the PowerPoints you look at, how everything connects together. It allows you to create a sequence. Outlining strategies. There's 3 things you need to remember: coordinating, subordinating, and parallelism. So coordinating is when items with the same importance need the same kind of number or letter in an outline. For example, every point introduced with a capital letter A, B, C should have the same amount of importance. And every point introduced with a number should also have the same importance. And I'll show you what that looks like. So good coordination, here's an example. A, B, C. A is National Football, B is National Basketball Association, and C is National Hockey League. And these are good because they're all major sports leagues in the U.S. and each is roughly equal to the other. And these would be your main topics. Bad coordination, and this example is A is brass, B is instruments, and C is percussion. And it's bad because brass and percussion are families of musical instruments. They are equal, but instruments more general than the other two items. So, again, brass and percussion are families of musical instruments, and they are equal, and instruments is more general than the other two items. Like, for example, instruments would be a great, major topic for brass and percussion, but it does not belong in the list. Subordination. This means that you put main points above small details, or subpoints in an outline. So, good subordination. Over here on the left, you've got 1 in Roman numerals, 2 in Roman numerals, and you'll notice that 1 is chairs, 2 is tables. Underneath chairs you have a rocking chair and an easy chair. Both of these are types of chairs, and those are indicated with A's and B's. Tables, coffee table, type of table. Breakfast table, type of table. Again, it matches A and B. And chairs is a broad general category. The 2 entries under it are more specific, i.e. they're types of chairs. And that is the same for number 2. Tables is a broad general category, and the 2 entries underneath it are more specific. Bad subordination. So take a look here. You've once again got the Roman numeral, and it says evergreens. And then we have A, pines, B, spruces, C, trees. 1, there's only 1 item, and it's of course given the 1. You need to have additional items. If you're going to put a 1, you need a 2 and a 3, etc. Trees is a broader category, so it should be above evergreens. Like, for example, trees would be more, of a category and not a subordinating example. Parallelism means making sure that the language matches. You can do this in your sentences, but you can also do it in your outlining. So good parallelism over here on the left: ballet dancing, modern dancing, jazz dancing. 3 types of dancing. All right, they're all 2-word phrases made up of an adjective and a noun, right? Like a describing word for the thing. Dancing is the thing. Ballet describes dancing, modern describes dancing, jazz describes dancing. Using parallel structures makes the logical connection between the 3 dance forms. You understand that each is an example of dancing. Bad parallelism: A, ballet dancing, B, the unexpected spontaneous flash of the new, C, dance steps based on African American dance traditions. These 3 items do not follow the same grammatical patterns. Just as I said before, adjective, noun, adjective, noun, adjective, noun. These obviously are not similar. These 3 points are meant to describe the same 3 points described in the good example, but they're confusing. It doesn't create that same sort of logical flow. In conclusion, so now you've learned just about everything you need to know about outlining. And yes, it says how, but it should say now. So there are 2 kinds of outlines, right? There are also informal outlines. You've got formal, informal outlines. Coordination is giving the same number or letter to items with the same importance. Subordinating is putting main points before subpoints. Parallelism is making the language match. Now, take a look at the examples I have given you, and I would go ahead and wrap this up and go and start building your own outline for your essay